I got new skates. So these are the Mesmer John Bolino signature skates. And they look pretty great. The Mesmer John Bolino skate is the first in their line, and it is a shell based on the old, reliable USD Throne shell. If you were an aggressive skater in the late 90s, you probably skated Thrones, or you knew somebody who did. They were an extremely popular skate. It was a plastic shell with a sole plate system and replaceable frames. Really cornered the market for that mid-range, customizable, aggressive street skater. Over the years, the Throne mold was used so much that it got damaged. And people thought that the Throne mold would never make a comeback, and this was about 5 years ago. But over the last few years, they've modified that Throne mold and brought it back into life. And this is the first skate to come out of those molds. So these Mesmer skates are a plastic shell boot with a raised heel. What that means is that the back of the skate is a little bit taller than the front, which makes it feel like you're leaning forward a little bit. That's a fairly natural feeling. Most skates have some sort of a forward lean to them. In this case, because it's a raised heel boot, that forward lean is built into the skate. So you don't need any additional shock absorbers or any sort of heel pads to give you that forward lean. It's built in. They've completely redesigned the sole plate. So this is kind of spiritually a successor of the SSM sole plate. It's a brand new sole plate though. So this is completely redesigned to fit this new Mesmer shell. As you can see, the bottom of the sole plate, very cool. There's a lot of little attention to detail paid to this skate. You can see there's screen printed graphics on the bottom of the sole plate. Super awesome. I absolutely love this design. I think things like this that make the skate unique are extremely welcomed in the industry. They come with the Kizer Fluid V frame, which is a frame designed for skating flat. And they come with a flat setup. So these are 58mm wheels on the outside, 58mm wheels on the inside. The only difference is that the outside wheels are 90A and the inside wheels are 95A. So they're a slightly harder wheel on the inside than the outside. The reason for that is if you do get any wheel bite, if you rub your wheels on any ledges, these wheels being harder will help keep those wheels sliding so that you don't get stuck on the ledge. They come with a fairly high quality liner. These, I don't know if they're based on any specific MyFit liner, but they are designed from MyFit. They are heat moldable, they're a little bit squishy, they look really great. The only negative that I found with these liners is that when I tried them on at home, they didn't fit my feet. So the front toe area, rather than having a neoprene toe so that there's a little bit of wiggle room, they are a firmly stitched toe, which means that it'll be more responsive. But if your foot doesn't fit this liner, there's not a lot of give up here, and it could be pretty uncomfortable. Now, I know that my feet don't fit these liners perfectly. They are a size 44, but typically a size 44 is 28.5 centimeters in Mondo, 28.5 Mondo, and these are rated at 28.2 Mondo, which is weird. That's an additional 3 millimeters that I usually get with a size 44 liner that I'm not getting with this liner. So I did heat mold them so that I could fit my foot in. It does fit, but it's a little cramped. I brought extra liners to swap out just in case these are a limiting factor in my review today. But let's hope that after I skate them for a little bit, they'll break in and they'll feel just fine. So this is my first impression on the Mesmer skates. I'm here at my favorite skate park in Durham, North Carolina. I am going to give them a quick roll around the park to see how they feel from a fit and a wiggle perspective. Then I'm going to do a few sole tricks to see how that sole plate holds up from sole grinds. I'm going to do some groove tricks and hopefully some topside tricks and see how they balance out with my normal grinds. All right, so these are the size 44, 28.2 centimeter. My feet are 28.5 centimeter. Every time I try a skate, I get a size 44. That is my baseline. A 44 should fit like a 44, should fit like a 44. this doesn't feel like a 44. This feels like a 43, like a full size, half size too small. The liner is really digging into my toes. Like I could feel my toes kind of curling up in the end, and it feels really tight widthwise. Like it's a very narrow skate. I feel like that might be good for some people. I think there's room in this shell for a slightly bigger liner, but for whatever reason, this liner is just a little bit smaller than it needs to be in order to fit a 44 comfortably. You know, the liner issue might be distracting, but there's definitely a lot more heel lift than I'm used to. It does have a raised heel, plus it has a shock absorber for the heel. I'm feeling like I'm falling forward, feeling like my toes are digging into the ground. I think what I'm gonna do is redo my line a little bit, but pull out the internal shock absorber and just ride the liners flat. That might also give me a little bit more room in the shell and see if I can get this feeling a little bit better, because yeah, it's super uncomfortable right now. Wow, that's night and day. Just a little bit, 10 millimeters in that heel makes a huge difference. These skates feel faster. They feel like I'm not leaning forward so much. My toes aren't digging into the ground. Definitely worth a try. The liners still feel short, so it's not like they're miraculous and now the skates are perfect. I still feel my toes curling at the end, but I can skate. They're a little tight, a little bit narrow, I think, but they feel like normal skates, just a little bit small. All right, let's try some grinds. All right, sole tricks feel fine. These soles feel nice and wide. I'm able to get over the object and really squat down. I have the confidence there. They feel really fast. This ledge was just waxed, so take that with a grain of salt, but they definitely don't have any issues with sole tricks. I am getting a lot of pain in this foot though. My right foot specifically just feels like it's pinching so much, like the boot isn't wide enough to support this liner with my foot. Just feels like it's squeezing and getting this pressure feeling in my foot. Not a good feeling. I'm definitely gonna swap out these liners after this session because yeah, this is not enjoyable. Even with the heel raise thing removed, still just too tight, too narrow for me. All right, let's try some groove tricks. All right, so this is tough. Tough to get boot down on Royales with this setup. It is a wide 58 millimeter wheel. The frames offer groove wheel bite protection, but such a narrow channel. You really have to stay off the ledge, which is harder for me. I'm an anti-rocker skater, so maybe it's easier for people skating flat normally. But yeah, I'm struggling trying to get boot down on these. I think with the right profile, this frame would fit great. These 58s though are very wide, very square profile. That's not doing them any favors. I was able to get a few, but they all just felt so low. Like boot down. So yeah, I don't know that I would recommend these for groove tricks out of the box, unless you want to switch them out to anti-rocker, but then it's not out of the box, right? All right, let's try some kind grinds. I haven't done a topside trick in a while, so this might be a fun experiment that goes horribly wrong, but I'm gonna give it a shot because I'm here and I gotta see what else I could do. All right, so they work. I am not the best judge of topside tricks, but I can definitely get myself on kind grind and I can slide kind grind with minimal rolling, a little bit of rolling, minimal rolling. What that means to me is that although these cuffs are tall, they're not too stiff. So I don't land completely flat. I usually lock that kind grind and then I push my foot down so that I can get flat. I couldn't do that if the cuffs were too stiff. But here I can lock, push my foot down, and then get flat. It's not the prettiest thing, but it's a good test. If you are good at kind grinds, if you are good at topside tricks, these skates will probably be no problem for you. So, kind of limited in the amount of tricks that I can do here with this setup. I'm not feeling this frame and wheel combination. The tricks that I do are very anti-rocker heavy. At least I'm an anti-rocker skater, and that's the only way I can do the tricks. So I'm gonna try swapping these frames out for some anti-rocker frames, and definitely swapping out the liner with something that's gonna fit my foot a little bit better. I feel like the boot has a lot of potential. The sole plate is really good. I love the Royale angle. I think it's really smart, very reminiscent of the Rossi's Majestic 12. But if it doesn't fit my feet and if it doesn't fit my style of skating, it's gonna be an uphill battle trying to get these to work for me. I'm gonna skate these for the next month or so. Make sure that you subscribe if you wanna see the progress. Thanks again to our supporters on Patreon for helping me get the funds to get these skates. And for anybody who's watched the channel, shared any of the videos, clicked like or clicked on any of the ads, really appreciate it. It's tough without skate shops to be able to get an unbiased opinion on what skates actually feel like, and that's something that I'm trying to do for the community. So again, thanks everybody for the support, and I'll see you next week.